guesstimated 34 laps on a full tank, so pit window 31 to 35 laps maybe. That's when we project to see cars down pit lane. So
I'm not going to complain either, Will. Unfortunately, it got switched over to YouTube, ironically enough. I don't know why, but now we're over on YouTube. I am sorry about that. But anyway, well, you can continue. I know this threw you for a loop.
Well, it's just good to be somewhere, Brian.
Yes.
But yes, indeed, here at Auto Club, I believe 13 car field, 14.
I do believe 14. Everybody's watching the race tonight, that's why. Like, put the races on. Oh, that does happen, unfortunately. There's nothing that we can do about it. So anyway, I'm going to go over the rundown real quick, and then I'll get you going. So P1, we got Jayden Sanchez. P2, we got Matthew Hunsaker. P3, we got John Tiller. P4, we got Cameron Smith. P5, we got Josh Small, and just like that, Cameron does go around the wrong way. P6 is Chris Schaefer. P7, Jason Pearson. P8, Skylar Sixton. P9, Richard Johns. P10, Nathan Lane. P11, Bradford. P12, Robert Amaro. P13, Cameron Smith, and then P14 will be Sammy Blackwell. So, once again, Will, my apologies. Yes, your little information about Auto Club, since this just randomly wanted to just do its thing.
Well, like I said a while ago, yes, indeed, Auto Club track been around since 1996. That's whenever it was the first race held here by any competition. I believe it was kart. And then a couple of years, or less than a year later, NASCAR came here. Jeff Gordon and I believe Rusty Wallace won the first two races, but now it is the BNR Series Sunday Evening Cup Series turn to conquer Auto Club, and we are green here this evening. They barrel through turns 1 and 2 at speed.
Yes, sir, indeed, Will. 14 of them here, but I do believe they'll be able to do it for sure. The old slipperooski around here, but as we see here, Sanchez, Tiller, Hunsaker, Cameron, top 4. They got Schaefer, Small, Sixton, Pearson, John. So it's a little bit more of a smaller field, but these guys are so used to each other, so we shouldn't have an issue. So nothing less, so they know how to race each other. Unlike Saturday night, Will, when you called it, we had a lot more hectic. But I think it's due to being Nashville coming on around 7. I do believe that is probably the reason why. But it happens, you know, races, race nights, and all that other great stuff.
Yeah, we see them spreading out a little bit through the corners. They're side by side, mainly down the straightaways. But once they get into the corners, they really fan out. Only 14 this evening, but 13 in total. Sammy Blackwell wasn't able to start the race, so 13 competitors out there giving it all they. Yep.
But anyway, Will, tires are key here. You know this. You've seen it last week or the week prior. Oh, just like that. There they go. Oh, what a save! What a save by Skyler. Oh, 6th in, and that's probably up to the awesome. Yep, there it is. Oh. So it looks like there's a little coming together in the back. There. So we'll come over here and take a look. So it looked like off the turn. Oh, slippy. Oh! Back to the side up here. Oh, wrong place, wrong time. But that does happen, Will, when you overcorrection of these cars, and so lap 5. Remember, they have absolutely 0 quick fixes, so unfortunately that's going to be that. Oh, let me try to figure something out here. 1 second, sorry. I hate doing this to you.
Yes, 0 quick fixes in the BNR Cup Series of events on the Saturday and Sunday evenings. And it's very unfortunate to have a mishap or a racing incident early on here, because that can really hamper our take some of these guys out of contention for just an overall good points finish this evening.
Yes. Well, if it's one thing, it's another. Now I'm trying to get the overlays was just working on this one. But that's all right. We'll get it going again, like we always do. So sometimes it can be technical difficulties. Nothing less. But anyway, as you see here, they come in and pit. Remember, Will, they get 6 sets of tires, which is fine. So you got plenty of tires to get through. But the question is, do you really want to use them all so early on, especially this early? I know I wouldn't, that's for sure. But you do what you got to do. So.
Yep, you're going to have a handful of drivers that are going to be on fresh rubber compared to some of the competitors out there at the moment that chose to stay out, like you said. Probably get all you can get off the first set of tires and then make the change, but some have already chosen to come down. Looks like the 41, the 9, the 8, the 23. Once I figure out the rest, we'll let you know, but well, they were caught up in the crash, so that makes sense for them to come down regardless. Yes. But Tiller, Hunsaker, Johns, Pearson, Lyons, Small, and Head, I do believe those 7 stay out. And then Bradford, Smith, Sanchez, Schaefer were the ones to come down to pit.
I do believe so. I wish I can go back. Oh wait, here we go. This will tell us 1 minute.
As they're getting ready to go back green next time by, that would be on lap 8.
Yep, so Tiller's going to lead them back to green with Matthew Hunsaker on the outside. Restarts are key. Always will be. My bad, my apologies. There we go.
Maybe a small field, but regardless, have to see how the dirty air will affect. I think Cade might have pitted with Bradford and them, but I want to say the top 6 stayed out. and the tops after that, 7th on back pitted. So Skylar Sixton still in the pit, recovering from that damage. He not sure how long he'll be in there. Robert Amaro catching back up to the tail of the field as the pace car will go down. And we will be back under green flag in just a matter of moments as they come to the restart zone. Tiller bringing them up to speed as he gets a whole shot jump on the field.
Yes, Will, green flag is back out.
So indeed, the top 6. Thank you for pulling up that
Graphic now.
yes, graphic there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cade actually stayed out, but just tried to restart in the rear, it looks like, I suppose. But right on board here with a few drivers. That's Hunsaker and the 2. So Richard Johns taking position away from Hunsaker and line there in the 3rd and 4th position. So Tiller trying to break away slightly here, but Richard trying to counteract that by just staying there with him. These cars still a little bit twitchy, just like they were a week ago in the Saturday race, but that was mainly a night race, so at different conditions, maybe the cars handling just a bit better, perhaps, maybe, but also not. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask him, like, well, I'm not too sure if they told you anything about it, but about their cars and stuff like that.
Well, Richard Johns said that his handling was better than it was a week ago in the Saturday race in the night, so he prefers it being day. That's what he said. He said the car handling better in the day circumstances than in the night. But each driver's different. Each driver's going to handle a bit different than others. So some were still dealing with that twitchiness, but others not as bad. Some drivers, they don't really like to talk about how their car is handling. They rather just go out there and perform. I respect that. I get it.
Yeah, I try to give
some
you
are just
regular ranks information that I can to help out people who want to know how the car is. You see, they're 3 wide as they come out of. Oh man, there it is.
Yes, they come through 1 and 2. They were slicing and dicing. We're 3 wide now. They back to double file down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. They kind of tend to do that though, Brian. If they are close enough, they'll kind of fan to 3 wideness and see how long they can take it for. But that's just how these guys are. They're awful racy this evening at the moment in time. But Richards lost a few spots due to just being a part of all that racing. Hunsaker leading the race at the moment, but it's just back and forth with him at the moment with Tiller. Hunsaker and Tiller going at it. Everybody's just kind of under a big quilt at the moment.
I agree with you, Will.
Robert Amaro with probably some leftover damage that he probably fully didn't get to repair. And Skylar Sixton out of the pit lane.
That would be Cameron Smith.
Well, it looked like he saved it. I won't be fully. I'll get to tell here in just a second. There might have been a bit of slight contact between him and Pearson maybe Sanchez. It might have been. Oh no, I think it was Richard.
The two teammates.
No, it was Schaefer.
Schaefer.
That was Schaefer. I do believe the 23 that hip checked. Unless we get a replay on it, Brian, but I'm going to call Schaefer at the moment.
That's fine.
I believe it was Schaefer.
Yeah, we can take a quick look here. No problem. It won't hurt. As we come back here, yes, Richard John.
It was Richard?
Yes, it was
Richard and Schaefer, they both kind of have a similar front hood. It's not identical, but that's why I was very hesitant. I couldn't tell which one was which at the moment of replay or time, but yes, indeed. Richard probably had that twitchy steering moment coming out of turn 4. We saw him have a moment earlier while he was moving up into. It was that battle for second, third, fourth area. Coming out of turn 2, he kind of had a slight moment, just a slight wiggle, but that was more of a bobble coming out of turn 4 that time. Not sure, but that kind of what it looks like to me just off the bat. Just had a slight twitch in the steering, and that's probably could have been what it was. Don't want to say that there was ill intent.
Yes, well, I agree with you. But Tiller's still up front, and he's setting the pace at this time. I mean, maybe. I don't know if he did it on Saturday. I couldn't remember because I was nowhere near there. You can have a little bit more of better of a memory than I do. So
I want to say Tiller had a pretty decent car last week here at Auto Club.
But as we see there, Will, the hard charger of Jaden Sanchez is now up there with Tiller, and now Jaden is trying to get clear of the 27, Will, but can't quite get it done. So,
well, Sanchez has fresher tires. Have to remember Tiller is one of those that stayed out during that caution around the lap 5 area of the race. So it would not be a surprise if Sanchez is able to just get up and go just in that clean air once he does eventually, if he can pass Tiller. He's holding Tiller a bit, not quite pinching him down onto the bottom lane of the track in 1 and 2, but holding him awful tight. Tiller giving him space down the back straightaway. Schaefer also in this mix. Schaefer has fresh tires as well. Don't really want to call them fresh anymore.
Saw that. Good save by Tiller. Jaden was all over the back of that car of the 27, but yet again, Will, fresher tires versus those tires. Unfortunately, that's what you're going to get.
In a way, yes, but also have to kind of expect the person in front of you, in a way, to, I don't want to say be struggling, but kind of expect the person in front of you to do something to that magnitude, or not be possibly as quick as you, so maybe you got to bicycle it or pedal the throttle, work the throttle. I know you may not want to ride behind them all night, but also don't necessarily have to get into the back of somebody either, so there's always two sides to every sword.
Yes, sir, I agree with you. Yes, Randy, 82 of JP Big Dogs, as I know him by, sitting comfortably P4. He did I think, averagely well here last week. But I think
Yeah, he ran in the
called
top 5, top 10.
I thought, like I said, Will's the best one to answer all this.
What are the questions? I don't see questions. I don't.
Now, about where he was running at on Saturday.
Well, that was also last Saturday as well, so. And I've called a few more races since then, so foggy memory. It's also slept since then, so. If I could remember right, though, for the most part, last week was mainly interrupted by, I want to say, Brock Page, and there was someone else who was up there leading with him, but at the moment, I just can't remember. But I want to say Brock Page won last week.
I want to say he did too.
I know this is terrible for a commentator not to remember everything, but I'm a quite busy person.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't expect you to remember everything. I know everything.
I really try to, but sometimes it's difficult. Now, if I was in these races, oh yes, I could probably remember every race I've been running, but I'm somewhat semi-retired from the amateur racing life, unfortunately. But when you put 10 years into it, you just kind of say, all right, I've had enough at one point, and you just want to sit back and watch it.
Yep, it's a lot.
You know, I've got the stream pulled up on my old phone, and I've also got it pulled up on my television screen. On my television, it is going down the backstretch on lap 24, and on my phone, on my old phone, they're coming to the stripe to take lap 25. So that's just, I guess, the difference between like being on your phone or on a console, or yeah, that's kind of interesting. But Battle for the lead, kind of still here. Jaden not able to pull away, as we've been just rambling on. Gotta have the filler of something to talk about, but Jaden not able to pull away, like we said. Schaefer and Pearson still up there with Tiller. So top 4 kind of breakaway, and then it is basically a second and maybe a second and a quarter or so, second and a half back to Matthew Hunsaker from Pearson. So Hunsaker, Johns, Lyon, Bradford, Small, and then Head. Wow.
Well, I was going to say Small, Head.
Anyway, for the laugh this evening, I'm glad if anyone else laughed, thank you. But there's the top 10. Next time I'm just going to do numbers. Yeah, anywho.
10, 13, P9, P10. Or we can just call him Cade. There you go.
Well, I tried.
See, a lot of people don't know Cade, though, so that's why it's easy.
Well, even still, you know, his last name is still there, so.
Exactly.
But, anywho, if he wasn't going to say it, I was going to at some point.
I eventually was going to say it, but you see now it's Small Line Head. Now in the top 10. And, see, it's just, either way you put it, it's just going to be what it is.
So we're just past a quarter of this race done. One caution flag came out coming to lap 5. So it might have been lap 4, but I want to say it's just, let's just call it lap 5. And Tiller, Pearson, Schaefer, they're kind of slipping. Matthew Hunsaker kind of caught back up to them now, for sure. So you have that little battle group, and then you have Johns, Bradford, Small, the number 13, and then the car of Line straggling onto the back of that group. Cameron Smith is there as well.
I see that.
I didn't want to say it twice.
Yeah. But anyways, you see here this great pack here, the great lines that each of these drivers are doing here, are trying to get one down to, what's that, P5?
Indeed.
Yeah. So I think they have a little bit more cars. So someone's in the wall up there, which I do believe that might be Cade. No, he ain't.
They've kind of...
Who is that? Oh, that's Line.
They've kind of calmed down just a little bit from the hard racing they were doing to just riding around now. Except for, I guess, these guys back here. You know, you say one thing and they just do a completely different thing. So...
Yes. They do. They never stick with whatever we say.
Cameron Smith trying to make a pass. I believe that was on Bradford.
Bradford slides up into the wall there. Try to get to the stick. Didn't quite happen. Very unfortunate, but that's all right.
Yeah, he went all the way downstairs. No, he didn't. I'm getting him, and who is that? He just tried to cross back over. I think Cameron, and like he said, it didn't stick.
Oh,
Is that
Bradford.
Josh, I thought? Yeah. Josh and Bradford, I got mixed up there for a moment, but...
Anywho, the two teammates here. But Josh is closing in on that bunch there.
Yeah, this backpack, they're just kind of racing amongst themselves. They are about 3 seconds and some odd change off of the lead pace, or the leader's pace, as Tiller is now fighting back against Sanchez. So, Tiller there with Pearson. Hunsaker kind of got by Schaefer. Schaefer falling off just a little bit.
Hey, that sixth place on back is slowly reeling them in. Slowly but surely, but I don't know if they're going to get there in time. I mean, there's a pretty good gap in between the three of them, but I don't know, just...
Well, I would be expecting Tiller and a few others to be coming down pit road in just a couple of laps, Brian. The ones that, the top six that stayed out during the first caution should be coming in fairly shortly.
Just like that, as we spoke.
Yes.
Yeah. Tiller ahead in line. Drop down the pits while everybody else is going to stay out. And yes, Randy, hopefully sooner or later we'll be able to get you back out here on track with us. When hopefully you pick up right where you left off. So that'll always be wonderful too. So, but a lot more bigger fields than the last time you were here. So we'll see how well that shakes out to be. So as you see there, Big Dogs now drops into the pits with Matthew and Chris. So that's just easier to call them Big Dogs, but it's JP. But they are now in the pits, Will, so this could shake things out. But you got Jaden Sanchez, Cameron Smith, John Small, and Bradford, and Robert Amaro. All left out on track. That stayed out. Yes, Randy, bigger the better. That is correct. The bigger the field on Saturday nights. And actually, Tuesdays is starting to get there on Thursdays as well. So as we see here, all these guys are diving in, Will. Richard Johns and Matthew and Bradford. So.
Yeah,
Josh.
I believe we had 35 for the Xfinity race and 34 for last night.
Yes.
So, and the truck race, I think, was 28 or 30.
Yeah. Like I said, it all
I'm
fluctuates.
trying to remember.
One of the two. As you see there, Jaden on his strategy along with Cameron and Robert. So, not too sure how much longer Jaden and them are going to stay out. But it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that this many pit takers happened because, you know, you kind of would expect the ones that pitted with Jaden to stay out a little bit longer. It was Schaefer. I want to say trying to remember who else it was that pitted earlier. Yeah, I know it was Cameron, Sanchez,
Oh, I thought
Schaefer.
But as you see there, Will, Sanchez did make his pit along with Cameron Smith. So, as you see there, Skyler got one of his laps back.
Oh, that's just momentarily, though. Skyler's really praying for a slew of cautions to happen.
Yeah, so Robert Amaro now back up to the front of the pack, which he did pit that early on there with Skyler, so he has a little bit more of the extra mile, couple of laps. But yes, Randy, I did not forget that you did race with a broken wheel. And that was pleasant because I would always bust your chops out on track. Kind of hectic driving that thing. Just ramming in the wall and forward quits. Always bust your chops. But hopefully you come back bigger, better, and stronger. You team up with JP and a few of those other guys there that we have. So, but then we'll have too many Randys out on track. We will, really. Well, way too many. Well, the officials next week, they all head to the street circuit. Well, that's going to be a doozy. Oh, something happened to Cameron. He must have been caught speeding, Will. Because he had a 54.8 second pit stop. As you see here, your leader is now pitting of Robert Amaro.
I think he got caught for speeding last week. You think he would have learned his lesson last week, but I guess he just possibly just mistimed it again, or just maybe thought it was whatever speed he could have been going. If he for sure did get the penalty for speeding. Sounds like it, though.
As you see there, Skylar Sixton now coming into the pits. And well, once you stay a lap down here, or maybe more than that.
Yeah, it's very hard to recover. If they're just running, logging laps, just, you know, not racing too hard, you're not really going to have too many cautions. So it's definitely... don't want to say Debbie Downer, but once you kind of put yourself in a position or put yourself in that hole of being more than one lap down, you're almost pretty much out of contention unless you do get that rash of cautions, that slew of cautions to bestow you. But unless you get that break, then you're just kind of riding around by yourself. You're just logging laps, just getting a bit more experience at this particular track, more or less. And his car may not necessarily be back up to stuff. You know, his car may not be 100%.
That is true. Sorry, I'm reading everything that comes through here. Always gotta love it. Gotta minimize this stuff here. You're welcome, Randy. I know, I just closed a lot of things, so there goes the stream going bonkers at the moment.
So Sanchez and Pearson, 1-2, Tiller, Schaefer in line. That's the top 5. Small, Bradford, and Cade there in 8th position. Johns and Robert Amaro rounds out the top 10. Cameron Smith, first car, 1 lap down because of the speeding penalty. And Matthew Hunsaker in the pits. Not sure if he's serving a penalty or what's going on with the Hunsaker mobile.
I don't know. I'm curious myself.
Really sucks that NBC put Parker Kligerman in the Rutledge Wood, guy on location here, instead of using him as like a pit reporter or like somebody that could be there on location instead of like, hey, we're just trying to get you prepped for the Chicago street races, yeah.
Hey, that does happen.
Yeah. It's nice that he still has a, like a side job besides being a full-time Xfinity racer. That's, I think he's a good little race car driver, just doesn't quite get the credit.
That is true.
Almost at halfway here, so gonna be just a few more laps and we will be at that halfway point.
Yep, in about 4 to 5 laps. So who's all? Jaden's battling with JP.
Pearson. Yep.
Well, that'll be the closest. So these two are in their own zip code there. As you see, they're on the backstretch. So.
Yes, and it's about, own zip code is right because it is basically 8.5 seconds back to Schaefer and then 9 seconds back to line. Josh Small just moved into the top 5 while Tiller exited the top 5. It seems like his strong run early on is kind of minimizing at the moment. Kind of going away here towards the middle half of this race. JP, like you said, leading this race.
Oh yeah. Well, and now just got to shuffle back to Jaden, so. But Josh there in his new custom made paint scheme there by Mad Dog Graphics.
Actually, looks like he's running down the 31 and 23 machines. So great run tonight, going for Josh.
Josh is having a great run. Well, this is what we saw 2 weeks ago with him, so he just couldn't capitalize when he needed to, he said. So So next time by, actually, they are halfway. Yep, they're halfway now. Wonderful. I always love to see that. But Josh Small running good. With his teammate behind him of that 41 and the 13. Because I'm the other teammate, but I am up here, so. What's that? I see 51 of 100 complete. Just now halfway. Slowly but surely they will be closing in and taking them laps down. One more time. Well, that outside lane, I guess, is that lane is where you want to be.
That's what it's looking like again this evening. That's how it was last Saturday for sure. Really wanted to propel yourself or just keep your momentum up in that high lane the best you could. Especially in turns 1 and 2.
Right, 1 and 2. But like I said, the only turn that really matters, well, you know this and I know this, is that last turn. If you can get it, come off that turn the right way, with all that momentum, you are bound to win the race.
Yeah, turn 3 and 4 is slightly different than 1 and 2. You still like to have a good arc into turn 3, but almost want to back up turn 4 just a little bit.
Oh yeah, you get that run. It's all about building up the run and capitalizing to the best that you can. So.
Good battle going on at the moment. Good battle group. Third, 4th, and 5th here. Josh Small, for the most part, has caught these two, but he's just riding at the moment, it seems, just waiting for the perfect time to start making his move around one of these two competitors.
Sooner or later, eventually they'll get it. We just don't know when, but hopefully soon. J.D. Sanchez, well, still in the front. He's been dominant here. He did very well 2 weeks ago. They might as well say last week, because that's when it was last week. But this week we headed to Las Vegas, which next week, next week we'll be at Las Vegas. So, and then we'll probably get another dose of that. So hopefully a little bit more. So, boy, under the lights here at Nashville, Will, and JGR is 1-2, and they just left Chastain, but I don't know. I hate to say it, but I think Denny might get this. Well, hopefully things happen to that car, and yeah. Oh, he's got all 4 of his cars in the top 10. But as this battle tends to intensify here, who's that? Schaefer, Line, and Small. Well, I'm glad it's that way, not the other way we said earlier. Because I don't know how well that'll be. But Jaden's got almost, well, a 1.5 second lead over there. Oh wow, almost a 2-second. I guess Josh
Yeah,
had a
Jaden.
little... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Jaden has really extended that lead out, indeed. And Pearson, you got to remember, I believe Pearson pitted before Sanchez, so Sanchez does have that just bit better, fresher tire. I want to say at least 2-3 lap gap there between when those two drivers pitted. So that's still, it's still better than nothing there as far as the tire uh, quality goes. Sometimes just a few laps fresher set of tires can be all the difference. You said, earlier in the show about tire management. So,
Yeah.
how well can you manage that set of tires throughout the run, each run you get?
Well, looks like Larson ain't doing too well on tire saving, is he?
Oh, he's inside the top 15.
Yeah, well, he didn't do too good here last year, did he?
Not that I can remember, but he won the first race here.
That's right, they did have 2 races. Anyway, 60 at 100 in the books here. Come on, Martin, bro.
Yes, indeed. 40 more laps to go.
These are the races I like where they just tick laps. Away they go. So a little interesting fact, TRD doesn't want Martin to leave yet. They're saying they're doing everything they can to keep Martin around. I'm like, why? I said, if Martin wants to go elsewhere, let him go elsewhere.
And that's the same stuff they said about Kyle Busch, and look what happened.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think TRD wanted Kyle Busch to stay in Toyota in the trucks, but unfortunately, whatever manufacturer he goes to, he's got to go to whatever that manufacturer is. As we see here, Will, Cade now is in the pits making his. I'm not too sure if this is a scheduled pit stop. I can't tell you that for sure, but I guess we'll have to find out.
It seems a bit off scheduled, just by a few laps at least.
That's what I'm saying. I think Denny's slipping away. Now Martin's but these three here like to see what they can do. Josh capitalize and get past the 31 of line there. So this is for
Just seems, yes, this battle that we've been covering for a good while is battle for third, closest battle on the track. And it just seems like once Josh got up there, he just has been content to just ride behind them or just see what they're going to do. Maybe
must have got hit speeding. He had a 56 point. Yeah, he might have too. Very unfortunate for Cade. That's what I mean, Will. You gotta hit your marks. You can't get caught doing silly things. So, we got two wild Fords trying to chase down this Chevy of Chris Schaefer. So, Schaefer and Josh had a great battle here last week. And it was funny because when I came back, they said you come back for redemption. So, we'll see how this plays out. So, but it happens. It was all in good fun, though. So, you ain't got to worry about that. But as you see there, Will, Line got by Schaefer.
Yes, indeed, made that pass down the front straightaway. Now we're going to see here if Josh is going to attempt to make the same pass or just kind of work with him.
Oh, see, there's somebody
Cameron
in the
Smith. That was Cameron Smith in the 8 car, just trying to extend the track a little bit more for corner entry, it looks like, into turn 1. Saw that a lot last week in the Saturday race.
Yeah, that is true. That's exactly what he did.
No, I wasn't just saying from him, but from other drivers.
There's a lot of that. We were all doing it. I know I was.
So definitely now, I would imagine in a lap or two, definitely pit window will be open for the final pit stop of this evening, Brian.
Yes, Will, that should be opening here. They see there Cameron Smith now in the way of this battle here, Will.
No, he kind of just stayed his lane. He didn't quite necessarily get out of the way, but just kind of stayed there, let him go around him. Sometimes that's just the best way to go about it. Sometimes. As looks like Josh Small will get by Schaefer at this moment in time. And indeed he does. So propel Josh Small up into the 4th position there.
Josh is set up with the long run, Will. He's been very good with that. I've been getting him better with it. Him and Bradford, as you see there, JP now pits and Schaefer now pits. Sorry, I got caught up here.
All good. I was taking a sip of drink myself. So Pearson going to have possibly some fresh rubber to maybe contend with Sanchez. Try to eke in a little bit, maybe be the leader for a few more laps until Sanchez chases him back down or comes back or out amongst him. Have to see where they cycle out here in just a moment.
But anyway, Will, 70 of 100 complete in the books here. Jaden Sanchez, Josh Small, and Bradford cycle out to 1, 2, 3. And then Richard Johns, P4. So,
well, just at this moment in time, while they are doing a cycle of pit stops here, the final pit stop of the evening.
Well, we can do our late portion of our favorite segment of the night if you want. Oh, Schaefer got a little bobbly there. So.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go ahead to our little segment of the night here. We'll give you guys a little sound of the action. So, enjoy. Anyway, as we come back to the action, well, 25 to go. Pit stops are complete. Jaden did cycle back out to be the leader. And for those of you who are not watching the race, Ross Chastain did jump past Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin to take the lead. With 67 to go. So
Jaden just got with a 7-second lead. And Chris Schaefer, 16 seconds back. And 4 seconds away from him is Josh Small. And Aaron Bradford is 7 seconds away from Josh. And rounds out the top 5 at this moment as they run with 24 laps to go. In the BNR Cup Series race from Auto Club, and also thanks for the update as well. As you said, Chastain currently in the lead of the Cup race from Nashville.
yes, sir, indeed. Under the lights, shall we say. Everything looks better under the lights. So Chastain bought a long-run car until he's got to get by Gregson again. You see who's right on board Robert Morrow, who was 1 lap down low, along with Hunter and Nathan. So that battle for 8 between the 3 drivers. So, as you see there, Cade slowly reeling in. I mean, Hunter's and that. Robert is slowly reeling in Cade. I was gonna say the other one, but that's all right. We won't say that.
So led some laps during our first green flag cycle of pit stops earlier in the race. So he led a couple of laps there. So that's some extra bonus point for him as BNR. You lead some laps, that extra bonus point for you there. If I'm not mistaken, so.
Yes, sir. That is.
Also, if Robert can come away with a top 10 here, that's very respectable. Stand-up top 10 finish after being broadsided by Skyler. I do believe it was Skyler.
Yes.
So.
Yes, sir. See that Robert Morrow now coming into the pits, Will. So his strategy is a little bit off at the current time, but Josh Small.
He should still get a top 10.
Yes. Unless he gets caught speeding, then hopefully.
But 18 laps to go, I do believe, right? Or is that 19?
18.
Oh, okay, 18. Just seems to be dominant performance by Jaden Sanchez. He had a bit of contention to deal with from Tiller Pearson, but kind of been his race to lose at this moment.
Yes, Will, that is true. If one slip up happens to Jaden, it all goes to the handbasket there. So hopefully Jaden can keep his card where it needs to be and keep prevailing and gapping P2 there. But P2 ain't got nothing to worry about P3, so that's always a good thing.
You can see Pearson there working some of the lap traffic. I believe that is the 31 of line.
Yes.
So
unfortunately, this one caution has been green ever since. And when it's green ever since, there really ain't too much to really cover the...
yeah, everybody's fairly separated from one another. Huge gaps throughout the field here this evening. And 90, I want to say 93 laps green since the restart of the first caution. So something for these guys to kind of be proud of, that they were able to run that many laps without another incident. Of course, still, it is a small field, but nevertheless, you expect to have some type of hard racing and contact may ensue, or just different things to that nature, but just only one caution this evening. But yes, it can be kind of dull at times to try to find something to talk about. I'm sure next week at Las Vegas, we saw last night and also in the Xfinity race, if I'm not mistaken, how much of a challenge and how difficult Las Vegas can be in these NASCAR cars, whether it be a Xfinity car or a Cup car. So brings its own set of challenges.
And that is very true, Will, because I agree with you. Yes, it does. I was struggling a little bit, and then as you saw there, a little bit towards the end of the race yesterday, we saw the unfortunate mishap on lap 130, I think it was 135, I think. The big one.
Yes, the green white checkered incident that you're referring to on the first green white checkered, I think. Yes, a lot of carnage late in that race that you're referring about. Yes,
there was a lot of debris everywhere. I pulled up on it, and I got hit in the rear, and that was that. I saw a lot of debris just flying in the sky, and then cars just getting crumbled up by the wall. So, and all I heard was crunch, crunch, and more crunch. So, but it was good to see Kevin and Roy walk away with a P3, and Josh Small, you see them get through that big wreck. So, I mean,
yeah, the race winner last night, Binger, kind of just was there, right place, right time. Really thought Brock Page had it in the bag, but it turned out that he ran out of fuel for anyone that could be listening in tonight that was there last night. If he were, I thought he might have got a restart violation penalty of some sort, but no, he ran out of fuel. So that also Just didn't happen to Paige. It happened to a few others, but it happens. It's part of racing. Just sometimes you make your bed and you just lay in it.
Oh, unfortunately, what happened to me, I thought I had enough fuel to get to the end, but I didn't. So I had a pit, and that ended up giving me a black flag there for unfortunately pitting while pit lane was closed. So I didn't have enough time to come back around to get into the pits. So.
Well, just under 10 laps to go here, Brian. And looks like our top three at the moment just might be the way they run. But Josh Small slowly been eking away. Reeling in Chris Schaefer there. Slowly out of time. Trying to get another podium finish here this evening. So maybe, just maybe, Josh Small might have enough time left in the bag.
I did see Robert Amaro, unfortunately, will not get a top 10 will. I did see he wrecked it, so that's very unfortunate. So, according to my time in there, so.
It looks like we're going to have 10 cars at least finish this race. So, 14 loaded in, 13 took the green, and 3 at the moment are out of this race.
Oh yeah, 8 to go. It looks, as you see there, Josh Small burping the throttle here and there, but he is slowly closing that gap in Will to Schaefer. So
it's almost got to the point to where it's just about equalized out at the same time.
Yes, sir, indeed.
But at the moment, that's just the closest battle I'd have to say we have on track. Besides Jones
Caution
and
is
Tiller.
Second caution of the night. Well, this is gonna put a big factor into this. It looks like Skyler had a mishap, I guess.
Oh, I think he straddled one. I think he straddled that lower seam, perhaps, and just around she came on him.
Yes, I would have to agree with you. Oh,
sometimes these cars also you got some bumps down there in that bottom lane. That car probably just didn't like. Just probably hit one of the bumps, or maybe just that transition from the bottom lane to the middle. The car probably just didn't like it. And sometimes on old tires, these cars, you don't necessarily get a good feeling of when it's starting to break loose on you, Brian. And that could have just been one of those moments to where, hey, he thought he was going to be going straight out of turn 4, but it, as you saw there, it just gradually starting to come around, and whenever that happens, it's almost just unexpected at that moment. As everybody coming down pit road, get a fresh set of tires, this is really going to bunch them back up again. Don't know if it's going to be green, white, checkered territory, but for sure, don't let that statistic lie to you at the top of the scoring pylon. This is the second caution of the night.
Yeah, but I did have to reshuffle things, but I want to go ahead. We can go ahead and give a quick talk to Jaden, and then
10-4.
We can talk to JP. I like that. Jaden, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
How's it going, sir?
It's going pretty well.
I know, unfortunately, you did not want to see that caution. Here, you were setting the pace pretty well, which is what you've been doing all night. How is that car handling right now compared to the afternoon time?
Well, sorry. The car's feeling great. I know a lot of these guys were struggling, wondering what I was doing, and it's just as simple as, two-stepping it. Just, I'm not really going full throttle in the corners. I'm braking as I'm trail braking pretty much, just letting the car turn. The car's way better than it was. It was tight earlier, now it's loose, and yeah, I was just really disappointed to see that caution because they weren't going to catch me.
Well, you got anything for Jaden?
Well, Jaden, you're going to be super aggressive on this restart like we normally expect you to be, or going to try to just let it play out and then just go from there?
Well, it wouldn't really be a race if, I didn't race anybody. Now would it?
No, I mean, race is a race, so you do have a point there. Always love to see how well you can be towards the end of these things as far as just mixing it up there towards the end. So good to see you having a dominant performance.
Yeah,
So,
what I'm hoping to have Jason and Christopher get side by side, stall them out, and I can take off. Yeah, this is one of my best tracks. I won the Xfinity, and I've actually have 3 wins this year in NIS here. So I'm gonna close it out and get this win.
Well, hopefully you can. Been dominant all evening, so best of luck to you, Jaden.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I guess we'll have to just watch as they prevail again here on caution number 2.
Yes, Jaden's going to lead them to the restart zone once the pace car pulls off.
Just like that, green flag is out.
Good restart by Jaden. Gets a good hole shot distance on the field. Exactly what you would want in shoes or socks, whatever he prefers to race with. Bustling through turns 1 and 2. Schaefer tried a slide job on Pearson, it looked like. So, this was not green light checkered territory, so coming back to get 2 laps to go.
But Jaden's in his own zip code right now, Will.
That tight, dark light racing behind him can still produce a caution, and they could go at it again if that wants to fly. Pearson got ate up by these guys that came in and got a fresh set of tires, so Pearson had to have the medium run car anyway, it looked like, so this short run here awfully did kill that second place he had brewing. Even Josh Small, he had a good third going, but he's trying to get back into second place. But Chris Schaefer, fantastic short to medium run pace we saw earlier. Looks like he might be dragging the wall. I think he dragged the wall a little bit. This is right back. So battle's on for second.
As they come down the backstretch one last time, Will.
Yeah, Pearson really going to get back into second place here. Who is going to get third? So Jaden Sanchez comes off of turn 4 and will cross the start-finish line, win this race this evening, and total finish for third place.
Josh Small will lock her in P3.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Pearson second, Josh Berger, line in the 31 in fourth position, and Chris Schaefer fifth place, I do believe. Richard John 6th, Tiller 7th, Bradford 8th, Hunter Head 9th, Skylar Sixton technically, I guess, didn't finish, but rounds out the top 10. So, only 2 cautions, one with about 4 or 5 laps into the race, the second one coming with 6 laps to go, I do believe. So, had an epic restart with the cars remaining in the field, and I got to tell you, they did put on a decently good show at the end of this race for that for that final podium position. Josh Small taking it this evening. He showed he had the pace to be there towards the end of this race, and for sure enough walked away with that position.
Yes, indeed. We'll go ahead and bring Josh in. Mr. Small.
Yes, sir.
Well, great finish. That was a very tight battle there for that final P3 podium finish there. A lot better finish this round than you did last week, I would say. You seem to do better like I do when it's under the lights. It seemed like your car came in a lot better under the lights than it was during the daytime. If you can, please describe how your car was during the daytime to the nighttime transition and just the overall racing of tonight.
It wasn't too bad. Normally I would struggle a lot more. But it was loose in and tight off, so I was having to let it roll a lot more. I'm sure you guys can see I was running the high line more than I normally would in 1 and 2, because I love running that bottom of 1 and 2. But later in the runs, I was slowly bringing the car down. So probably every 7 to 12 laps, I would slowly bring it down. And then I would try off and on, try to stagger the corners, run low in one, high in the other. 3 and 4, depending on traffic, is where the car actually had a mind of its own in 3 and 4. But as soon as the lights came on, the car all around just loosened up, and I was able just to roll and not have to use a brake as Jaden was doing. The leader, he was actually trail braking, so he was actually able to set the nose and be more consistent up there. He was fast tonight. He was really fast. He was hard to chase down. JP did a great job up there. But me, Schaefer, Nathan Lane, from P4 to P3 to P7, man, we were all struggling. But probably halfway through the run there, when on the first set of pit stops, that's when the car started. It did the transition. And that's when I was doing the late run charge. I do believe I went from P9 to P4. And once I filled the car up, got fresh tires, I had to get back in the rhythm. And it took me a while until the lights come on to finally get the speed back and be more consistent, run these fellas down. It was a decent field. There was a lot of competition tonight. Some strategy played a role, that's for sure. But Jaden, that kid was on rails tonight, man. He was hard to run down.
Well done, Josh. Will, you got anything for Josh?
Yes, indeed, Brian. Congratulations, Brian. Wow, Brian. Josh.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
On the back-to-back podium finishes, you got one last night after some chaos ensued at Vegas, and then tonight, just you had some really good speed in the long run, like you noted. The car just truly came alive. And on that restart there, man, I thought for sure that podium was going to slip away from you, but Schaefer really got to crisscrossing, and it seemed like he dragged the wall down and helped you and Pearson kind of get by him, and then yeah, you were kind of off after that. Just good run tonight, Josh. Congratulations. And next week, Sunday, you'll be going to where you were last night, which is Vegas. If you don't mind, just tell us a little bit what to expect at Vegas from you.
I'm gonna try the same technique and same strategies that I did last night for the Saturday series. I'm just gonna try to lay back as much as I can, stay out of trouble, and probably around halfway start pushing a little bit, try to gain some momentum, so that way on that last round of pit stops I can just not necessarily send it, but be more aggressive and try to gain as much momentum as I can, so that way on the closing laps I'm in a rhythm and I can be a contender up there. But
right, exactly.
But I don't know if Schaefer took 2 tires on that pit stop or not, because I do believe he beat me out. I'm not too sure because I know I started outside, but he had a heck of a run going in to one of those corners, and then once he got to the outside, I had to go to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stayed whoever behind who was in front of me, which I do believe was JP, and I just tried to gain some momentum and some draft from him to try to pull me through the corner. And 3 and 4, I was 3/4 spot on 3 and 4. I actually had to lift and feather it because I started to get loose on that opening lap there on the drop of the green after that restart. So I had to gather back up and then just fall in line. And then I dipped down in 1 and 2, which I knew I can be aggressive in 1 and 2. I just can't do it on exit. So I tried to get aggressive on the entry in through the center and just set the car up for the exit and just kind of ease on it. And I was able to gain momentum, which I was able to make the pass down the backstretch.
Yes, excellent pass down the backstretch to propel you into 3rd place. Congratulations yet again on the back-to-back podiums, and hopefully look forward to seeing some more great finishes in the coming weeks from you, Josh. So any shout-outs you'd love to give before we send you off?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I want to thank Mr. Brian here for setting it up, and thank you for giving us a heck of a commentary, Will. You do a hell of a job at it, and hopefully I can keep, getting good finishes. Doesn't necessarily have to get podiums. Just good finishes, good points days, and just be a contender.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Consistent top 10s and top 5s is sometimes the best ways to go about it at the end of the day. So I agree with you there. Always good to get the best finish possible.
Yeah, buddy. Definitely. That's what I try to do.
Well, thank you for talking to us this evening, and just have fun with that celebration of that finish this evening, Josh.
Will do, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, sir. What you chatting a bit?
Yes, sir. Have a good.
Oh, JP ain't there. All right.
All right. Get that winner in here, and let's talk to him for as long as we talk to Josh. I'm kidding. About that was man. Josh reminds me a lot of myself, man. I could just keep going for hours, I swear.
Yeah.
I must tell you about everything.
Well, here you go. We have our race leader.
Jaden.
Hi.
Howdy doody. So, dominant performance from you this evening after you got past Tiller, and Pearson had you there a little bit during that one cycle of pit stops. You and him played a little bit of cat and mouse, but then it just seemed like once you got out in the clean air at any point, you would just kind of pull away, and you drove away. You were in your own area code, zip code, your own different county at the end of the day. So, like you said, this track is good to you. You've had a lot of good runs and finishes here, so congratulations on the win here this evening, Jaden, and just tell us about a little bit more on the inside about how you did it. You told us there during that last caution a little bit on the insight of what you were doing to stay up front in the lead of the race. So, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit more about what you were doing.
Yeah, so in practice, I was just trying to figure some things out. I was slow compared to like Richard and like Cameron and them, and I was just trying to figure out what they were doing to get such fast lap times, and everything that I was doing in the race didn't work in practice. So I knew it was gonna get what's it called? I knew the track, was gonna get more grip, and it was gonna go later into nighttime, or yeah, later in the day. So I really just set myself up for how far I would push the car, because if you push it too far, you're going around and you're going to make a slip up. So it's really just trying to figure out where the grip was, and I know a lot of people were wondering what I was doing. Yeah, it's just two-footing it. Basically, that you drive it in really deep and then back it off a little bit, braking just to save the tires, but also just keep that forward momentum. Something I've been doing pretty much since like I think I took the lead, and then with Jason, I think that's his name, right? Yeah. It was really, I mean, I let him pass me just because I knew he was gonna use up tires, so I just wanted to follow him for a little bit, and then the second, I thought I had enough, tire to like, get past him and get in front of him. I just took off. But yeah, it was a good race. Shout outs to pretty much everybody. I mean, I know it was a small field, but we all know each other, so we all had a good race. I think Las Vegas is next week, so I mean, I was fast there in Saturday's race, so we're just going to be trying to, I guess, incorporate what we learned from Saturday's race into next week, because I know next week, I already know everything I need to do to win that race or get, top 10 or
Get the
top
best
5.
result possible.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, race was okay. Just wish there was a little more people.
Right.
Glad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I still was able to pull away, though. I didn't want anyone on me. Um, and
I
yeah,
sure hope not.
yeah, yeah. But hopefully we take this momentum, and if there is a race next week, we can do that. We can go win that one and just keep it up. I know I have a lot points to make up in some series, so we're just gonna keep chopping away at it.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Jaden. You pretty much answered everything that we were curious, and all those other things we were going to ask. You already got it out the way. I like interviewing you at times because you really get to the point and get it done and over with. Congratulations again on the win this evening, and go celebrate however you do. Do your celebrating, whether that is race some more or just relax or take in a breath of fresh air, however you do. So can't wait to see you later on this week in the trucks, Xfinity. Like you said, whatever you're out there racing. So just like I said, congratulations again. And any more type of shout out or anything else you want to say or give, or are you done?
I guess shout outs to you guys for broadcasting. You guys don't have to do that. I know a lot of people are hit and miss with it, so it's always good though when you guys have the support, show support for the league, and hopefully we all can come to agreement that what we need to do to get this league running even better. We all got to do our part. So yeah, hopefully that we'll all figure that out, and we'll all just stop arguing and BSing over each other and just have fun. But it's just really a game. So yeah. Other than that, that's all I got. So thank you guys, and yeah.
Well, thank you as well. Brian, we got done, or Brian,
Yeah, he about answered
producer,
everything
director?
that I need to know.
Yes, looking forward to next week at Las Vegas and Phoenix on the Saturday Sunday Cup side of the BNR Racing Series. And COTA, first road course race that the BNR Racing Series attends, will be Tuesday in the BNR Truck Series. And Man, without having to look at it on my phone, I can't remember Xfinity. But anyway, Xfinity, that's still a few days away. We can talk about that Tuesday. So it's been a pretty well relaxing auto club race this evening in the BNR Cup Series. Dominant performance by Jaden Sanchez and everybody that came out tonight. We thank you for putting on a wonderful show for everyone. Like Jaden said, kind of wish we had more, but also that falls in line with just other things. Hopefully we can grow the Sunday series to be similar to the Saturday series, but nevertheless, for myself and Brian Hunt, we'd like to thank all of you for coming out and enjoying the BNR Cup Series here this evening on the BNR Racing Network, whether started out on Twitch or on YouTube. So thank you very much. And until we meet again, hopefully everybody has a wonderful and good night.